רבותיי, בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח, והשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. We're going to start with commentary on Hagaddah. But before, we have to understand who wrote the Hagaddah. There is different opinion who wrote the Hagaddah. One of the opinion that the Hagaddah been written by Rabbi Eliezer Hagadol. That's Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkanos. He wrote the Hagaddah. Another interpretation that it was the member of the Great Assembly, the people. That means that the leader of the Jewish people, from the member of the Great Assembly. Another opinion that brought, that was Hillel HaZaken, Hillel the elderly. Where is the first time the Hagaddah ever mentioned? Where is it first mentioned? So the Hagaddah mentioned in a Talmud Bavli in Masechet Psachim, in page 116, folio 2. There the Gemara say something very interesting. Hasuma patur min Hagaddah. What does it mean? A person, lo alenu, that he is blind, not obligated to read the Hagaddah. Doesn't have an obligation to read the Hagaddah of Pesach. So that's where the first time we see already, over 2,000 years ago, close to 2,500 years ago, that in a Talmud. Okay. And what I listen to that, we study the Kiddush. We're doing the Kiddush, okay, of the festival of Pesach. And after we finish the Kiddush, and here comes something that I would like to mention to you. After we said the Kiddush, after we said the Birkat Shehyanu, and we drink the first cup of wine, the first cup, while we're leaning to the left, the next thing that we should do, rehat. But before that, everyone should sit for 2 minutes on the chair, a minute or two, and to ask the Almighty for whatever He needs. People need health, people need parnasa. Whatever a person needs, that's the time. That means you need to find a shidduch. After the Kiddush, before you going to vas for the karpas, and the karpas we vasing with no brocha, ask the member, all the member of the people, to sit, to ask from HaKadosh Baruch Hu whatever they want, whatever they need. The most important thing, Rabotai, that we have to ask in that night, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will say, it's a special remedy to do that. We learn that.
Oh, Rob, you're breaking up.
Chazal telling to understand the language, the gate of heaven are open. And whatever a person asks, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will grant. Sorry, Rabotai, I hope that no one lost me. Are you still there, everyone?
You're back now. But
I think so. Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you.
Okay, so we stopped on a special thing on a special remedy that straight after drinking the first cup of wine before the Hajj to sit and to ask, why is it so important? What's the Hidush? So the Mefarshim explain that the gates of heaven are open in heaven. The heaven is open, and whatever a person will ask, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will grant it. Why? Listen to that. Say, I heard that, read it in the name of the Hiskuni. Who was the Hiskuni? Rabbi Hiskiah ben Manoah. He born in France 775 years ago. And in his Midrash Hiskuni, he explained that the heavens gate are open in that night. That means the 15th of Nisan. He said, where do you learn that? He said, Yitzhak Avinu asked Esav to bring him food. Then he asked him to bring in two different kind of food. He said one awards Korban Pesach, the one awards Korban Hagiga, the Pesach offering and the festival offering. He said that to his son, listen to me, my son, said the Midrash. Yitzhak Avinu said to Esav, the 15th of Nisan at night, the gate of heaven are open. And whatever a person asks, or brocha that he say, it will work. Therefore, again, I'm saying, after the Kiddush, that we drink the first cup, after we leaning to the left, drinking the first cup, a person said to his member of family to take a minute, peacefully to ask whatever. That's the segula. After that, we have, after Kadesh, we have rehat. What does it mean, rehat? We wash the hand with no brocha. Why? That if our hand wasn't clean enough, we're eating now the karpas, the celery. On the karpas, we said the brocha, bore pri ha'adama. A person have to take a little bit of the karpas, dip it in a salt water or vinegar, whatever is it, and then say bore pri ha'adama, and to take a small bite from it. Not to eat kazait. Why? Because if you eat kazait, you have the obligation to say bracha achrona, so to eat a little. After karpas, what do we have? Yachatz. Come the yachatz. What is mean yachatz? We take the three matzot that we have on a table, on a Seder plate. We take them and we take the middle matcha. Again, we take the middle matcha and we actually break it. Not to a half, try to make one piece big, one piece small, okay? Why do we have three matcha on a table? There's different ideas. I'm going to bring three. One of them, it's towards the fourth father, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. The other opinion is it's towards the three people that there is in a Jewish religion, Kohen, Levy, and Israel. More interpretation that Hazal bring in, it's because Abraham Avinu said to Sarah Imenu, when the angel came to visit him, he said to her like this, Mahari Lushish Shalosh Sa'im, please go and do Trish Shaloshim. Shaloshim is amount, a volume of to need to make ogot. Why? Because that night was Erev Pesach. Although that they didn't receive the Torah, but the Hazal tell us that our forefather kept all the Torah. Even that Pesach didn't come. Then we do Yahatz, we're splitting the matzah. What's the idea behind splitting the matzah? The main reason is that to remind us. That the same like Kadosh Baruch Hu split the sea of reeds for the Jewish people in a second, he can take us out of that exile, to give us hope, not to lose hope. Number two, the same like Kadosh Baruch Hu shortened the amount of years that the children of Israel was in Egypt from 400 to 210 years. In a split of a second, he redeemed us to give us, again, not to lose hope. Another interpretation, it's come to tell you something very important. That's the interpretation brought by Rabbi David Aparahi. Rabbi David Aparahi explained like this. A person that doesn't have a lot, if he have a loaf of bread, he will eat a half now, and for later on he will keep. And here what we're trying to show with that unleavened bread. Another interpretation, Rabotai. Why do we split the matzah to two? The gematria of Yehatz, it's 108. The gematria of Gehenam, Gimel Yud, Hey Nun, Mem Sofit, it's also 108. To tell you something very important. A person that split the matzah and Pesach, that break the matzah and Pesach, from the three matzot that there is on the Seder plate, all dina shel, that means he redeemed from judgment of Gehenna. So look how to split the matzah. That's very, very important.
Oh gosh.
Can't hear, guys.
He's broken off. Yeah.
Rabbi, are you there?
I have some problem with my. Can you hear me, everyone?
Now we
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can't see you, but we can hear you.
I can't hear you. Oh, no, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Hello,
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
I can
yes,
hear
Rabbi.
you loud and clear. I think that is a bit of a problem with the connection.
Yeah.
Okay, now.
Rabbi, can you repeat?
I can
Can
hear
you
you
repeat
loud and
the
clear.
Yachatz? Rabbi?
Now,
Rabbi David?
well, now I couldn't hear you. You're breaking.
Sorry.
To repeat what?
Rabbi, can you repeat the...
Yeah.
Can I repeat?
Yachatz.
You muted yourself? You want me to
Yachatz.
repeat? Yahatz. Okay. Why do we say Yahatz? Why do we do Yahatz? So we explain, what do we do in Yahatz, first of all? We take the three matzot that there is on the Seder plate. We take the middle matzah and we split it
You're breaking, Rav.
uneven. That means one piece big, one piece small. The explain the teaching. Can you hear me now?
No, you're
Jeffrey,
breaking.
can you hear me?
No, you're breaking, Rav.
Jeffrey, I don't know if
No.
you can hear me. I can't hear you.
You're breaking up.
Oh,
You're breaking up. We couldn't hear
I
you.
don't
It's like
know why.
no.
Okay,
Now
let me
we heard
try
everything.
again. Better now?
Yes.
Okay, so the splitting, the breaking of the
No, it's
matzah,
breaking.
it's number one to teach us not to lose hope. The same like a Kadosh Baruch Hu split the sea for the children of Israel. It's the same. It's breaking. Okay, 1 second. Let me try and do something on the internet. Give me 1 second.
It's frozen.
Okay, let's see if it's better now, guys. Is it better now?
No, it says on top of your picture, it says David Levy's network bandwidth is low.
Okay, let me try now. Let me try and adjust it. I'm trying to adjust it.
Your
Is it better
bandwidth,
now?
I don't know. Well, it's.
I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do, guys. Stay as you are. I'm gonna reset the system in
Yes.
1 second. I'm gonna set the system in 1 second. Don't get off. Don't get off. Okay, are we better now,
That's better.
Jeffrey? That's better?
It's better as it is. As you're talking now, it's better.
Okay, good.
But
Sorry,
you're not.
Obviously.
We see only your picture. We don't see.
Okay, you're gonna see my picture in 1 second. Now you're gonna see my face. Okay.
Now we see you.
Thank you.
All good.
Okay. So we got to Yahat. What does mean Yahat? We take the 3 matzot, and after we take the 3 matzot, we take the middle matzah in a seder plate, and we break it unevenly. Why do we do that? Hazal explained that to teach us that it's as simple or as easy for us is to break the matzah. It's so easy for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to redeem us. The same like he's splitting the sea of reeds for us, to teach us not to lose hope. Another explanation is that if there is a poor person and he have a loaf of bread, he doesn't eat all the loaf of bread. He eat little bit and he keep for later. And that's what we're trying to show on that night. Like we are like a poor person. Another interpretation that if we take the word Yahat, it's Gematria 108. By that we're splitting the matzah, the middle matzah, it's come to teach us that the Gematria of the word Gehenna, Gimel Yud Hey Nun Mem Sofit, is also 108. To teach us that the person do Yahat on Leila Seder, on a Pesach night, doesn't see Gehenna. Look how important is it to do Yahat. And then come Magid, the story of the Hagaddah. And Be'ezrat Hashem, now we're starting the Hagaddah. Look how it starts. Ha-lahma anya, de'achlu abatanya be'ar'a de-Mitzrayim. Kol dechfin yete ve'yechol, kol detzrich yete ve'yifsah, ha-shata hacha, לשנה הבאה בהרעה דישראל, השתה עבדי לשנה הבאה בהרעה דישראל בני חורים. בכבוד, Jeffrey.
Yes. This is the plain poor bread that our parents ate in the land of Egypt. Whoever is hungry, come eat with us. Whoever needs a place to stay, come make Pesach with us. This year we are here. Next year may we be in Eretz Yisrael. This year,
continue.
This year we are not free. Next year may we be free to serve Hashem perfectly.
Amen. Please God.
Amen.
Rabbi, Pesach, the word Pesach that it speak here. What is Pesach? Now we're starting the Magid, the Seder of the Hagaddah of the Pesach. What it means Pesach? Pesach is to pass over, pshat of the Dvarim. But Ari HaKadosh, Rabbi Yitzhak Luria Ashkenazi, that born in Jerusalem 491 years ago, explained that Pesach, if you split the word of Pesach to two, Pesach, a mouth, talk. That means the main mitzvah on Pesach night is to speak about the Exodus, to praise the Almighty, to glorify Him. But if you look carefully, the Hagaddah starts in Aramaic. Ha lahma anya. Why? Question number one. Why in Aramaic? Question number two, it says, that's the unleavened bread that our father eaten in Egypt. If I'm not mistaken, the unleavened bread, they baked it when just before they left Egypt. So they didn't eat it in Egypt. Question number two, Kol dechvin yete v'yechol. Whoever wants can come and join us for the meal and Pesach. How can it be? Our house, our doors, our gates, surrounded with wall, everything locked. So what exactly happening here? We have to understand what exactly happening here. So we ask three questions, and Be'ezrat Hashem, we try to understand. Question number one, why is it in Aramaic? Why is the Hagaddah start in Aramaic? So I saw a beautiful commentary that brought by Rabbi Avraham Ibn Ezra. Rabbi Avraham Ibn Ezra, born in the city of Toledo in Spain. He born around 935 years ago. 935 years ago. He said that the main reason that the Hagaddah start with Aramaic is to inspire the people. That means that in their time that they wrote the Hagaddah, everyone was speaking Aramaic. So to inspire them to join the Seder, let's start speaking in Aramaic. That's pshat of the Dvarim. Let's go deep. Let's try to understand why. Chazal tell us in a Gemara, in Masechet Brachot, in page 13, folio 2, if I'm not mistaken, that the angel in heaven does not understand the language of Aramaic, as I explained earlier. What's the hidush behind it? Listen to that, Rabotai. There is here something that we have to understand. As I'll explain that Leila Seder, Pesach night, is a night that there is a protection from all the evil forces in the world. It's a night of guardian. He say that when we start, in every Jewish house, we're sitting around the table, and everyone's speaking in Aramaic, the angel of death doesn't understand the language. And he come, and he wanted to see what we're doing. And he hear us talking in Aramaic. He doesn't have patience, because Hazal tell us, המהירות מן השטן, הפזיזות מן השטן. The hastiness is from the angel of death, from the Satan. He doesn't have patience. You say, those people speaking a language that I don't understand, I leave them. I leave them. And he leave us. And he cannot criticize against us to say something wrong about our deeds. Therefore, and that night, whatever we wish, whatever we ask, whatever we pray for, and the most important thing about on that night to ask for Mashiach, it's granted. That's the interpretation of the mystical rabbi. Come Rabbi Haim Palagi. Rabbi Haim Palagi, born in the city of Izmir. He born 237 years ago in Turkey. And he says something extraordinary. Listen to that. He said, in all the Torah, there is only two. When I said the Torah, the written Torah, not the oral Torah, the written Torah, there's only two words in Aramaic. Where is it? That in Sefer Bereshit, Parashat Vayetze, in chapter 31, verse 7, it said there like this, Yagar Sahaduta. What does it mean? Yagar Sahaduta, it's a monument. Okay? A pillar of stone, monument of stone. Say Rabbi Haim Palagi, listen to that. He said that, what is it mentioned in Hagaddah? The name of Lavan, we'll get to him. מה רצה לבן הארמי לעשות לישראל? It said that when Lavan chased Yaakov Avinu, and he caught into him, they made a covenant. And what that covenant called, what they make it from? Monument of stone. And it's mentioned there, Yahagar Sahaduta, to tell you that the same like Lavan couldn't harm, although that he was a great witchcrafter, because Esav was frightened to chase Yaakov Avinu. He wanted to kill him. But Esav was so frightened of Lavan because he knew that he's a great sorcerer, great witchcrafter. He never gone to Lavan. It said that the same, like everyone was afraid of Lavan. Okay, now what are we doing? We're speaking in Aramaic, that the angel in heaven, and I said the angel of heaven, I'm talking about the great criticizer, that's the angel of death, the Satan, the evil inclination, cannot criticize against us. Because why? That he doesn't understand the language. And that's why we start the Hagaddah, Rabotai, with the Aramaic. So we see from here that there's three different ideas. And we brought also the Torah Shebechtav, that means the written Torah, where it's mentioned two words there is in all the Torah, and what's the secret behind it? That here we actually weaken the strength of the evil forces. By that we're speaking in Aramaic. That means that the energy of the evil forces in the world cannot be strong. And that's why we're starting the Hagaddah Rabotai in Aramaic. So when you start the Hagaddah in Aramaic, you have to understand why. Now let's continue. We ask the second question that we ask. He say, Halachmania. That's the unleavened bread that our father eaten in Egypt. Come Rabbi David Abu Darham. Rabbi David Abu Darham, born in the city of Sevilla in Spain. He born in 1400. okay, in the 14th century. He was a student of Rabbi Yaakov Baal HaTurim. And when he fled from Spain, he gone to Germany. And he was the student of Rabbi Yaakov Baal HaTurim. And he asked the question, wait, I don't understand. You telling me that that's the unleavened bread that our fathers eaten in Egypt while there was in Egypt in slavery? He said, it's not true. He said that the unleavened bread that we're eating is because that the Jewish people was in such a hurry to leave Egypt, they couldn't wait for the dough to ferment and then to bake it. So what did they make? They make a matzot, the unleavened bread, a poor man bread. But we don't think that in Egypt they eaten it. So how come the Hagaddah tell me that that's the food that our forefather eaten in Egypt? That's his question. He answered like this. He explained like this. He said, Nachon, that wasn't the common food. But while they was preparing to leave Egypt, while they was gathering all the belonging, while they was baking, the kids was hungry. Member of the children of Israel was hungry. They needed to eat. So those that was young, that was hungry, those that was old and was hungry, eaten them in Egypt. That's why the Hagaddah tell us, halach ma'anya, and we should lift up the Seder plate, okay, and we take the matzah and we show that's the bread that our father eaten, in Egypt. That's why, say Rabbi David Abu Daham, why we're saying that that's the unleavened bread that our fathers eaten in Egypt. Kol dechvin yeteh v'yechol, whoever wants can come and eat. Say Rabbi David Abu Daham, the third question that we asked. But today, all the houses surrounded with walls, with doors, with gates. In Eretz Israel, they don't have houses, but they have flats. So the foyer have a door. Every private house closed and sealed. He say like this, say Rabbi David Abu Daham, he given the answer. He said like this, in daytime, the house used to be open. The door was open. The poor people that wanted to join the Seder can easily walk in and join the Seder and eat with them. Today, if we do that, we don't know who's going to come, which terrorist going to come, which hobo going to be, or which robbers. He said, therefore, today that he talking, listen, he was in the 14th century. We don't keep the door open. And that's the difference. So now we can understand all the three questions that we ask. Why an Aramaic? Why is it said that that's the unleavened bread that our fathers eaten in Egypt? Why it said that everyone can join, but today no one can join so easily, walk in. Here is all the answers. Let's continue. Now we start with Ma nishtana. Look what it says. Ma nishtana halayla hazeh mikol halelot. Bechavod, Jeffrey.
Why is this night different from all other nights?
The question is that the Mefarshim ask, why Dafka on Pesach we say Ma nishtana? On Sukkot we go out to the Sukkah. Why then we don't say Ma nishtana? Why Dafka on Pesach we say Ma nishtana? why Dafka on Pesach, we ask the question, why that night is different from any other night? That's the question. According to the Pshat of the Dvarim, the Mefarshim explain like this, that Hazal tell us in Parashat Vayera that there is 4 different expressions of redemption. In Parashat Vayera, in chapter 6, verse 6 and 7, it says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, והוצאתי והצלתי וגאלתי ולקחתי. HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us 4 different impressions. How was the stage of the redemption? First of all, he took us out of Egypt. After that, he saved us from the Egyptian. After he saved us, he redeemed us. After he redeemed us from the Egyptian, he took us and made us as a nation. Okay? That's one of Pshat of the Dvarim that we can ask. But in a deeper meaning, what's happening here? The Chachmei Asod we explained earlier that the 15th of Nisan is a night that have a protection, night of guardians. And said the Mekubalim that Hazal, when they constitute for us the Hagaddah, when they put the Hagaddah tonight, then not for nothing they say, Manishtana, there's a secret behind. He said, by that we say in Manishtana Laila Azeh, why is that night different from all the other nights? Is to try to wake up, to try to say to the Almighty, it's time for us to redeem us. How come that night, Pesach night, is so different from all the other nights? Why there is a special guardians on that night, on the Jewish people, that there is no in any other night? To remind the Kadosh Baruch Hu that we still in exile. Say Chachmei Asod, by that you're asking what that night different from all the other nights, we actually asking the Almighty, please, HaKadosh Baruch Hu redeemed us. We're trying to wake up the special energy that there is in the world to show how important that night, that we're still saying, we're sitting and saying, Manishtana. Because when the Mashiach comes, we're not going to celebrate Pesach. Why? Because we redeemed. We already been redeemed. Please God, speedily in our day. He said, by that we're saying on Pesach Manishtana, it's to try to shake the heaven. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu will redeem us. That's the Hidush. Rabotai, that's the Hidush why we say Manishtana Laila Azeh. How come that this night is different from all the other nights? Do you understand now why we say Manishtana? So we brought 2 different interpretations. After that, I'm going to jump a bit. We're starting to speak about something very important. Avadim היינו לפרעה במצרים. ויוציאנו אדוני אלוהינו משם ביד חזקה ובזרוע נטויה. ואילו לא הוציא הקדוש ברוך הוא את אבותינו ממצרים, עדיין אנחנו ובנינו ובני בנינו משועבדים היינו לפרעה. And then he said, and that's the verse that I want to focus. ואפילו כולנו חכמים, כולנו נבונים, כולנו יודעים את התורה, מצווה עלינו לספר ביציאת מצרים. וכל המרבה לספר ביציאת מצרים, הרי זה משובח. בכבוד ג'פרי.
we used to be slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt. But Hashem our God reached out his strong arm and took us out from there. If God had not saved us from Egypt, all of us, even our children and grandchildren, would still be slaves to Pharaoh. So even if we are very smart and know the Torah, it is a mitzvah for us to tell about the miracles that happened when the Jews left Egypt. The more someone tells about it, the more he deserves to be praised.
Okay. Here the Torah tells us that we were slaves in Egypt, and the Almighty, with his mercy, took us out of Egypt. Okay, how he done it with a strange hand, that we were slaves to Pharaoh. But then he says something very interesting. Ve'afilu kulanu hachamim. Although that we all smart, okay? Although that we all have wisdom and we all know the Torah, it wouldn't help us. That if you listen to it, it sounds like maybe a person that is full of wisdom, full of, have a lot of brain, smart, doesn't have to say the Hagaddah. That's pshat of the dvarim. It sounds like. So the Mefarshim, let me come and tell you. By that it say afilu kulanu hachamim. Although that we all smart, we all full of wisdom. If the Almighty wouldn't redeem us from Egypt, all our wisdom, all our smartness wouldn't help us. Sometimes, let me give you an analogy. A person knows that he done something wrong. So what does he do? He take a very smart lawyer, and that smart lawyer know how to walk between the drops, not to get wet. And he find a loop, and he make his customer unguilty. That's me. Say the Mefarshim like this. In Egypt, nothing will help us, not our wisdom, not our smartness. Even if we take the best smart lawyer, wouldn't help us in that case. Sometimes a person that is a smart, he speak nicely, he know how to talk, he can twist the words. He say in Egypt, nothing would help us. No wisdom, no smartness. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu wouldn't redeem us, until today, us and our grandchildren and grandchildren, grandchildren, everyone will be in slavery in Egypt. And that's the Hidush here, Rabotai, when we read that verse, ve'afilu hachamim. Although that we smart, you would think that maybe Hachamim doesn't have to read the Hagaddah. Come, Hazal, and tell us, as much that you're smart, as much that you think that you have wisdom, you're still obligated to read the Hagaddah. Why? Because nothing would help you in a slavery of Egypt. Because the Egyptian wasn't interested who you are. They wanted to make you a slave. Therefore, you would stay a slave. But the mercy and the compassion of the Almighty, He took you out of Egypt. He took you from that situation. And that's why you're not slave anymore. That's what the Hagaddah tried to teach us, that nothing will help us if HaKadosh Baruch Hu wouldn't take us off Egypt. Let's continue. The next thing that the Hagaddah speak about, Maaseh Rabbi Eliezer ורבי יהושע, רבי אליעזר ורבי יהושע ורבי אלעזר בן עזריה ורבי עקיבא ורבי טרפון, שהיו מסובים בבני ברק, והיו מספרים ביציאת מצרים כל אותו הלילה. עד שבאו תלמידיהם ואמרו להם, רבותינו, הגיע זמן קריאת שמע של שחרית.
One Seder night, 5 of the greatest rabbis, Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Yeshua, Rabbi Elazar, Ben Azariah, Rabbi Akiva, and Rabbi Tarfon were sitting in Bnei Brak. All night long, they told about the miracles that happened when the Jews left Egypt. They did not stop until the students came to tell them it was time for the morning prayers. Shachrit.
Okay, so these two questions. What difference it make to me where the sages than the Seder night? Why is the Hagaddah tell me that it was in Bnei Brak? Question number one. Question number two, what is Kriyat Shema have to do with the Seder? Nachon, according to the pshat of the Dvarim, that they were sitting all night and they was busy, and they didn't take notice of the time. And then the student come and told the sages, listen, it's time to say the Shema, to recite the Shema. That's pshat of the Dvarim. But we have to understand, why is the Hagaddah tell me about Bnei Brak, the city of Bnei Brak? Question number two, what does that have to do with Kriyat Shema of Shacharit? The saying the Shema in the early morning, and the right time. What's the Hidush here? Rabotai, we have to understand that we're learning from here, number one, halacha. From that verse, we're learning halacha. The Hagaddah tell us that Rabbi Eliezer, that's Rabbi Eliezer Hagadol, Rabbi Yeshua, Rabbi Elazar, Ben Azariah, Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Tarfon, he come to tell us something very important. The sages came to where? To Bnei Brak. Who was the rabbi of Bnei Brak? Was Rabbi Akiva. The rabbi of the city of Bnei Brak was Rabbi Akiva. But who came to visit him? His rabbis. The rabbi of Rabbi Akiva came to Bnei Brak to celebrate the Pesach night, the Seder night, with him. Why? It's come to teach us halacha, that the student not allowed to lean to the left to drink in the front of his rabbis. But because the rabbi came to the city of Bnei Brak, and who was the rabbi of the city, Rabbi Akiva? Rabbi Akiva can lean to the left, because he was the Marad Atra. He was the rabbi of the city of Bnei Brak. That's one interpretation. Another interpretation is, I saw in the name of the Gaon Hida, Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azulai, he born in Jerusalem. He born around 301 years ago. He wrote a book, Simchat HaRegel. That means the joy of the festival. There he says something extraordinary. He said, take the gematria of Bnei Brak. The gematria of Bnei Brak is 364. Take the gematria of Hasatan, the Satan, 364. He said that the sages gathered together in Bnei Brak on a Seder night. Why? Because they wanted to eliminate the evil inclination, to eliminate the Satan, the angel of death. Why? Because that night is a night that protection from all guardians. And that's why they're going to Bnei Brak. And that's why it's mentioned that said the Gaon Hida, that the main job was that they try to reduce the bad spirit in the world, to get rid of it. So when we read the Hagaddah, we have to understand what's hiding behind. Okay? But we still have to explain what's happening here. What is that connection to Kriyat Shema? Say the Mefarshim like this. The connection between Shema and the Satan, it's very simple. He said that when a person said the Shema, when we recite the Shema and we focusing and we say it word by word, we can bring the Mashiach. He said that our sages not only wanted to eliminate all the evil forces from the world, they wanted to bring Mashiach at that night. And that's what hiding behind that verse. That Shayu Mesubim beBnei Brak, that they spent the Seder night in Bnei Brak with Rabbi Akiva, until the student come and tell them, Igia Zman Kriyat Shema Shel Shacharit. It's time to recite the Shema in the morning. That they try everything in their forces to bring the Mashiach. To teach us that when a person says Shema and he focuses and he says it word by word slowly, we can bring the Mashiach. That's what that verse tried to teach us. Rabotai, we have 3 minutes. I don't know if I'll be enough, but let's start. Amar Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, הרי אני כבן 70 שנה, ולא זכיתי שתאמר יציאת מצרים בלילות, עד שדרשה בן זומא, שנאמר, למען תזכור את יום צאתך מארץ מצרים, כל ימי חייך, ימי חייך הימים, כל ימי חייך הלילות, וחכמים אומרים ימי חייך העולם הזה, וכל ימי חייך להביא לימות המשיח. בכבוד, ג'פרי.
Oh, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah held it is a mitzvah to speak every night during Maariv about the Jews leaving Egypt. He said a miracle happened to make me look as if I was 70 years old. Yet I could not prove that we must speak every night about the Jews leaving Egypt. Then Ben Zoma proved it. The Torah states, so that you will remember the day you left Egypt, all the days of your life. The words days of your life mean the daytime. The word all means that during all times of the day, even at night, we must speak about leaving Egypt. But the other rabbis did not agree. They said, the words days of your life mean that we speak about leaving Egypt now, before Mashiach has come. The word all means that we will still speak about leaving Egypt, even after Mashiach comes.
Okay, it's a bit long. We're not going to finish it tonight, but I would like to suggest one idea, Be'ezrat Hashem, and next Sunday we'll do another session. What does it mean? אמר רבי אלעזר בן עזריה, הרי אני כבן 70 שנה. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah said, I'm like a man of 70 years old.
Yeah.
What does it make to me if you're 70 or you're 100 or you're 1 year old? We have to understand what's happening here. Azal in the Gemara in Masechet Brachot in page 27, folio 2, tell us that after Rabban Gamliel, that was the Nasi, the head of the Sanhedrin, the head of the din, he was in charge, been moved from his position, they wanted to appoint a new person, a new rabbi. And everyone looked at Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. And he was a young man. How old he was? He was 18. But how can you appoint a young man of 18 to be the rabbi of the entire Jewish people? It's not. So at night, before they appoint him as a Nasi, he davened to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and miracle happened, and a great hair grown up for him, and he looked like a 70. That's pshat of the dvarim, רבותיי, pshat. מה זה הרי אני כבן 70 שנה? What is the secret here? הרי אני כבן 70 שנה. רבותיי, what book are we studying every Sunday usually? The book of Shmuel. You remember the book of Shmuel?
Yes.
Okay. The book of Shmuel. Here there is a secret. We say that Shmuel Hanavi, in what age he done? He died. 52. Shmuel Hanavi died at the age of 52. Who was his reincarnation? Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. He was in the age of 18. Said the Mefarshim that the prophet Samuel should live to the age of 70. But because what's happened, he died earlier. It's not the time to extend about it here. Come, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. That was his reincarnation, and he was in the age of 18 when he became the Nasi, the Rosh Bedin. That means that the person that's in charge about the Sanhedrin. He was in the age of 18 to show the wisdom that he had. Where did he got such wisdom? From Shmuel. Now you understand how things working. If you allowed me 2 minutes, and that's it, just to connect it. What's the Hidushia of Shmuel Hanavi to the Hagaddah? The Mefarshim explain like this, Rabotai. The Mefarshim saying that here, in the time of Shmuel Hanavi, the Mashiach was supposed to come. But Shaul HaMelech, when he didn't kill the king of Amalek, Agag, that's it, Amalek still is. We actually asking now that we'll have a prophet like Shmuel Hanavi. That the same like Shmuel killed Amalek, Agag, the king of Amalek, will have speedily nowadays a prophet, the Mashiach will come to kill Amalek. Because all the Hagaddah speaking about the redemption. That's what we mentioned, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Now you can understand the connection between Prophet Samuel to Rabbi Lazar ben Azariah. Why we mentioning it? What was the reincarnation? Why 18? Why he looked like 17? That's the Hidushia. Rabotai, I hope that you enjoyed the commentary on Hagaddah. Be'ezrat Hashem, next week we'll continue with the Hagaddah. And if we have time, we'll also go through the Seder plate. Be'ezrat Hashem will explain what's hiding behind every symbol that we do. For example, the karpas, I forgot to mention, I will explain why we're eating karpas, the shake bone, the egg that we have on the table, the water that we have on the table. Be'ezrat Hashem, next week we'll go also through it, and we'll continue with Hacham. Hacham is the wisdom, that means the foresight. Rabotai, in the meantime, I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you make notes for the Hagaddah when you sit on a Seder night to tell those new Hidushim on your Seder night, Be'ezrat Hashem. And I would like to thank you, each one individually, for joining us tonight. I know that at the beginning the connection wasn't good, but I hope that it's better now. Rabotai, thank you very much.